Hey, my friend, good news. Today we're talking about dung beetles. Hey there, I'm Carolyn Cooper. I'm the creator of the SimplyAlign Method. And for today's energy shot, yes, that's right, we're going to talk about dung beetles and what does that have to do with energy healing? I don't know. Let's see. So there's three main types of dung beetles, and the first one is the rollers. Well, let me tell you all of them. The rollers, the tunnelers, and the dwellers. Okay, so the rollers find dung wherever they can, and they roll it into great big balls, and they carry it with them. They carry the dung, and they can carry up to 1,000 times their body weight in dung. No kidding. It's actually from the research I read, because I did research this, 1,141 times their body weight they can carry in dung. Okay, the next one is tunnelers. So the tunnelers just they bury their dung wherever, everywhere they can find, wherever they find it. And then the dwellers, well, they just kind of live in manure. That's what they do. They live in manure. How does this have anything to do with us? Well, you probably already have put the dots together of where I'm going on this. So let's think about human nature here. Do we do any of these three things like the dung beetle does? Like the rollers who gather other people's stuff and carry it. Yeah, that is possible for humans to do that. I see it all the time. How do you know if you're doing that? Well, often it's just having an awareness of, when you're feeling overwhelmed, overtaxed, overburdened, you can simply ask yourself, are these worries my stuff? Is this stuff that I'm worried about for me? Or am I trying to carry other people's stuff, dung? And I always say it's like a mom doing her child's homework. Like, it may feel helpful in the moment, but in the long run, it's not good for you, and it's not helping them learn what they need to learn. So we can be compassionate and kind and supportive, but don't carry other people's dung. Next one, tunnelers. So the tunnelers just bury things. And yes, human nature, from time to time, or sometimes more often, we bury things. We tend to bury things that we don't want to have to deal with. So notice that in yourselves. In yourself, do I have some emotions I just don't want to deal with? Because sometimes events in life are over a long period of time, but through energy healing, it doesn't take that much time again to release it and to heal it. It doesn't. Sometimes people bury things because they don't want to start their healing journey because they feel like this is a lifetime of dung, and it's going to take me a lifetime of dung to clear it if I face it. But it really doesn't. Your energy is very intelligent. It wants to lift it up, get it out of there. Okay, so careful not to bury those emotions. The third one, the dwellers. The dwellers are just the dung beetles who live in manure. So what are your main thoughts? Are you living in a place where you find, if you really stop and think about it, that you're complaining a lot? Can you go 24 hours without complaining? Can you remember to notice that for 24 hours? That sounds easier than it is. Sometimes I'll say things that I think are just observations, and then I think about it and go, oh, I thought I was just observing, but maybe that's a complaint. So we want to make sure and avoid all of these things. Like, don't carry other people's stuff. It's not yours to carry. Have healthy boundaries and respect other people's healthy boundaries. Don't bury your emotions. There are plenty of ways of healing, and nowadays energy healing is like, it's so accessible, and there's so many classes to learn. I teach Simply Healed courses all the time. They're now online. You can learn from anywhere in the world online with me. I'm happy to teach because I love people learning these techniques so that we don't have a bunch of people walking around with buried emotions, with buried dung. And the third one is, don't live in manure. Don't live in those complaints. Don't live in those negative thoughts. We have the power to change our thoughts. Always. Always change that thought in the moment. Your thoughts create your emotions, and that creates your behaviors, and your behaviors over time create your life. So get out of the dung. That's my tip for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. That was fun for me. So I like talking about those dung beetles. Have a great day, my friend, and I'll see you next week. Shine on.